Goodness gracious, y'all. We are just about done with the daily shift. We only got a couple more days left. Let me double check. Yeah, this is day 29. First of all, there's 2 days left until the cart officially closes for Visual Vamp Up. What's up, my friends? It's Nath in post production here. Actually, first of all, that was wrong. The date that I said there was incorrect. But also, Visual Vamp Up is still open because I changed my mind, and it's one of the greatest things that I've ever created in my whole life. So it's just gonna be one of those courses that's open all year long. Okay, I love you. Let's move on now. I obviously highly recommend this course. But before we talk about that, I want to dive right into today's topic. So, not being enough and being powerless are two stories and experiences that have really been very prevalent for me when it comes to my launch, when it comes to selling, when it comes to manifestation. Really, when it comes to getting what I want and need. My energy for so much of my life has been that I'm not enough. And we understand how these cycles begin, right? If you've been listening to my podcast, my other videos, they're all just natural consequences of our lived experience, our childhood experience. And I had an experience where no matter what I did, I couldn't get my needs met. No matter what I did, I couldn't get my needs met for love and connection. I couldn't get my needs met for community. I couldn't get my needs met for support, a sense of belonging, right? My emotional needs were really neglected, and my physical needs were really neglected. But long story short, when you're having that experience as a kid, all you really can do is cry, right? So when you have parents and caregivers who don't respond to your cries, who don't respond to your behaviors, asking them to meet your needs in the best way that you can, then your needs just don't get met. And you are powerless to the will of others. Will they decide to meet my needs today? Will they decide that they want to cuddle with me today? Will they decide that they want to respond to me today? Will they decide that they want to take me into consideration today? Will they decide that they like me today? Will they decide to meet my needs? So when it came to selling, when it came to growing an online audience, I was living in this energy of I'm not enough. I didn't understand why people watched me. I felt like there was something more that I had to do. And then you create an experience where you can never get your desires when you think that there's something more that you have to do. When I was building my first YouTube channel, I left college, started a business. I have to make videos that are more entertaining. I have to do more videos that, the people are watching, but the ones that I want to do aren't getting as many views, so I can't do those. I was very focused on how other people would respond to me because I was under the perception that that was what determined whether or not I got my needs met. And like, obviously that's a super duper big deal. So this energy of being not enough, you start asking questions. How can I make myself enough? What can I do? How can I do more? How can I share more? How can I can create content about this. I can create a series about this. I can, send out an email about this. I can do this and this and this. But all of the action that I'm taking is from this place of I'm not enough and I'm trying to become enough. I'm trying to get my content to a place where it's enough. I'm trying to get my marketing to a place where it's enough. I need to get my landing page to a place where it's enough, where it's enough for people to like it, where it's enough for people to accept it, where it's enough for people to want to invest in it. Sometimes we can have this experience when it comes to romantic interests. I have to change my physical body so that it's enough to be liked. I have to be skinnier so that I'm enough to be accepted. I have to, whatever. I don't really have that off the top of my head. So you're chasing this enoughness, but you never reach that goal because enoughness isn't an external standard. And inside of my program, Release, Reconnect, Recognize, there's a whole module on this. I don't know what I'm doing with this program, y'all. I'm honestly going to leave it for December. I might not even open it up this year. I don't know yet. But I talk about this extensively, but I just felt to come on here and give you the Cliff Notes version. When you make being good enough an external standard, when you make being good enough to get what you want an external standard, you put yourself in a position to be worked to exhaustion and resentment. Because if you don't do anything, if you don't put on makeup, if you don't post on your social media, if you don't send in your resumes, if you don't buy your boss coffee, I don't know what rules you're making for yourself. If you don't do these rules that you've made for yourself, or if you don't follow these rules, or if you don't live up to these rules, if you don't live up to these standards that you've made for yourself, then you won't allow yourself to receive. So you have to always be on. You have to always be doing your very best. You have to always be changing yourself to be someone else. And the message today is that you get to be enough. What if you were enough? Now, inside of my current program that is open for enrollment, Visual Vamp Up, we talk about the manifestation of emotional states as well. It's a good program. I told you, it's not your grandma's vision board party. I don't know what else. I don't know what more to say. It's not just manifesting a thing. It's manifesting a lifestyle. It's not just manifesting a lifestyle. It's manifesting a feeling state. What would life be like if you felt like you were enough? What would life be like if you felt like your body was enough, your personality was enough? I have been, and I don't really know what the hell this is the consequences of. Chalk it up to everything that I'm fucking manifesting, y'all. I don't know. I think I really been focusing more on liking myself. But today I rested because I'm like, all right, you need a break. Don't do any work today. I napped the whole day, and then I got up and didn't really have anything else to do, so I'm here. But don't tell my boss. Okay, anyway. So I made a funny joke. Okay, there it is. So I forgot what I was going to say for a second, but I'm back. I took a nap on my couch watching That's So Raven, and sometimes I don't know if you have those moments where you're kind of like sleeping, you're kind of like going like in and out of sleep, but like your energy is changing and shifting and new thoughts are coming in. If you're rewiring your brain, then you get it. And if you're not rewiring your brain yet, then get on it and you'll have some fun with that. So it was one of those moments where you're changing and shifting your brain, you're rewiring, you're in and out of sleep, you take a nap, you wake up from your nap, you turn your head to a different angle, and you're thinking different thoughts. And I was just thinking thoughts about how I really like myself. I was looking over editing some get ready with me videos, which probably will be up on the channel before this recording is. And it was, wait, if this is day 29, then this is getting posted on the 28th. Okay, I was right. Okay, sorry. There's a million different things going on in my brain. I'm so sorry. I have to focus. Okay, let me start over. I was taking a nap, woke up from the middle of the nap, was basically like realizing all these things that I just really loved about my personality. I was like, I think that girl's really funny. Like, I really liked that get ready with me. And for like 30 minutes of that get ready with me, I was kind of sitting here and I was kind of like, no, like, I think I should delete it, because it's kind of like, it's what I would consider 30 minutes of negativity, but it's not really negativity. It's just 30 minutes of me focusing on something that I don't like. So I recognize that it's not really serving me, but also it's funny and it's hilarious and it's relatable. And I do believe that it is of service in one way. It's not something I'll do in every single get ready with me or every single video, but I like it and I'm gonna post it. And just thinking about that video, just watching the way that I speak and like the facial expressions that I make, and just like, God, I'm just such an entertaining fucking person. And I don't know many people who are entertaining like I am. And when I find people who are entertaining like me, I'm like, I really like you. I like entertaining people. I identify as an entertaining person. I like people who are entertaining, and I identify as an entertaining person. And I just been feeling more like I like myself. So it was like having this shift of I like myself, and then sitting with where I am and sitting with my goal for this current launch, which the launch is going amazingly well. My reality is changing and shifting. And I still felt like I wasn't going to get what I wanted. I wasn't going to be satisfied. Normal limiting beliefs that come up. It's normal. So as I'm going through these limiting beliefs, I realized that a part of me was stressed. I got to get 3 pick-a cards out. And before I do the 3 pick-a cards, I got to create vision boards for the pick-a cards. Turns out creating vision boards takes time, energy, and fucking effort, okay? Time, energy, and effort. The vision board party segment inside of the visual vamp up program, that bitch was about 2.5 hours for the creating the vision boards alone. And when I create the vision boards, I have so much fun. And sure, there are times when I can just take a couple pictures and like put them together and stuff like that. But now that I know how to do it this way, I only want to do it this way. So I'm like, maybe we don't post 3 pick-a-card readings. Maybe we do the pick-a-card readings, but we, integrate the vision boards and, do different things with different stuff. And I'm playing around with those concepts in my mind, but it felt like this energy of being in high school. Being in high school and having assignments that were due, papers that need to be written, books that need to be read, And I didn't want to. I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel capable of taking responsibility for my life. There's a lot of fucked up things that we're not going to get into like a tangent about, but the way that college and, you know, your entire future, it was like the way that shit was like marketed to us when I was in high school was just like these 4 years of your life, and colleges are gonna look at these transcripts, and if you have a single D on your transcript, then a college is gonna see that and they're gonna throw out your application and blah 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 blah, all of this fear mongering bullshit. I'm 16 years old, and at the time I really wanted to be a doctor, so the college that I go to, the undergrad that I go to, is important and significant. And I just have this awareness of all of these things that I want to create in my life in the future. I know that high school is important, and then just constantly having people tell you that mistakes are unacceptable. You can't possibly make a mistake. All of that shit combined with the fact that I don't feel like I'm enough. I don't feel like I'm good enough. If you have an experience where your parents don't meet your needs as a kid, you think your parents are like little gods or big gods. You think your parents are perfect. You think your parents know everything. It's how we're wired, you know, so we can like survive and stuff. Because, you know, in the caveman days, your parents knew how to get from one cave to the next without being eaten by a mammoth. I don't fucking know what was going on there, okay? That's just nephew's version of history, okay? But in terms of human evolution, yeah, it makes sense that you would be born and you would be following around your little parents who have obviously survived long enough to be able to create you. They know a thing or two about surviving in the world. So you're made and you're created to look up to your parents and to listen to your parents and to, you know, believe whatever your parents tell you. So if you're trying to get your needs met and your parents aren't meeting your needs, you're gonna internalize that. You're gonna think that means there's something wrong with you. You might get mad at your parents too. You might get upset with your parents too. You might hate and grow to resent your parents, but you're going to internalize that. That's just normal. So when you've internalized that neglect to mean there's something wrong with me, there's something broken with me, there's something inherently bad, evil, wrong, unworthy within me that makes my parents neglect me, that makes my parents ignore me. That's like this core wound. That's like this self-concept of I'm not enough. I'm not worthy of getting what I want. I'm not worthy of getting what I need. And the way that it manifested for me was feeling like I had to do more. Okay, hold on. I got too far off there. So going back to the high school thing, I didn't feel like I was enough. Your relationship with responsibility. If you feel like you're not enough, if you feel like you can't take on responsibility, what are you going to do? You're going to avoid it. So my experience in high school, I have this in astrology, I have a Scorpio rising, which to other people, depending on the energy, the vibe that you're in, just gives off this energy that like you really don't care. Having a sign and an energy like Scorpio or Pluto or Mars in your first house is really something that's very tricky to navigate because they're just energies that represent shadows within us. So you're more triggering to other people. And the way that that manifested was me having all of these incredibly scared, terrified parts of myself. I'm full on, you know, having a freeze response where you just don't do anything. But other people outside of me are perceiving it as oh, these kids just don't care, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you could not be further from the truth. You just don't have the fucking capacity for it, compassion. And I'm not going to get on a rant and get angry and start yelling. I can feel it boiling up within me. Everybody, let's just take a deep breath. So I'm having this experience where I'm terrified. I'm so terrified that I'm avoiding the responsibility altogether. Because what if I'm not smart enough to be a doctor? What if I'm not smart enough to get good grades? What if I'm not good enough? Which is obviously a lie because I'm fucking brilliant. But it's not about the truth. It's about how I feel, and it's about my perception of self. The truth doesn't create your reality. It's how you feel and your perception of yourself that creates your reality. And also, what is the truth, you know? So I had an experience where I was avoiding responsibility, but there was this constant stress. You have assignments that you know are due, but you're not doing your assignments. You're watching The Office. And there's this underlying stress and anxiety. When people have anxiety attacks, panic attacks, it's not that, oh my God, this completely came out of nowhere. No, you've been having that underlying stress, worry, and anxiety, and you've been ignoring it. You've been emotionally neglecting yourself. And when it gets to the point where you can't ignore it anymore, because the emotions don't just go away, you don't just look at your emotions and say, no, and then they magically disappear. That's not how emotions work. On like a physiological level, that's not how our feelings work. Your emotions get stored in your body. So you keep ignoring it, you keep neglecting it, you keep pushing it away, and it's getting stored, 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 and eventually you run out of storage, girly. You run out of storage. And that's what I would consider to be a panic attack, anxiety attack. That's one way of looking at it. So anyway, there's this underlying stress, underlying anxiety, underlying fear, but I'm literally in this fawn response, don't know how to take care of myself, blah, 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 whatever. So I had that experience in high school, and I've been feeling that experience with this launch. I have to create this video, I have to do this, I have to do this. I have a million different things that need to get checked off. When I know that I have work to do, I don't like knowing that there are things on a list that need to be checked off. It makes me feel that anxious, worried feeling. So instead of running away from that feeling in high school, I would have numbed, watched television, whatever. In more recent years, maybe I would have ran away from that feeling by doing all of the things that are on my list of work, right? I feel anxious because I have to do this thing. Okay, let me do this thing now. But it's not actually about the thing that you have to do. It's about your perception of yourself. So I'm sitting with myself. I'm like, okay, hold on, because what the hell is going on? Why am I feeling so stressed out? Because it turns out, because if I don't post this video, if I don't do this thing, then I can't get the sales that I want, then I can't get enough views, then I can't do this and this and this, and my launch is going to be a failure, and I'm not going to make the money that I want, and blah, 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 blah. Then I was just kind of like, whoa. Because first of all, none of that shit is true. And second of all, you're enough. You're enough. And I have my favorite definition for being enough, but those are in all of my paid programs, so there's that on that. What I can say here is you're enough. What if you were simply enough? What if the advertisements you were doing were working? What if the videos you were putting out were incredibly high quality? What if you were attracting all of the right people? I'm manifesting a million different things. I'm manifesting growth and expansion on my platform, and I'm also manifesting a specific amount of sales for this launch, but those things aren't necessarily mutually exclusive because the platform growth goal will continue on for as long as I have a platform, which is like forever. This launch goal is separate than that. When it comes down to the launch goal, you have enough views on your videos. If the views on your videos were their own people, you're attracting enough people. What if you were enough? What if you didn't have to do this? What if doing those readings and doing those videos were just a made up standard, and that if you didn't want to do it, you didn't have to do it, and you could still get the sales that you want? You could still get the outcome that you want because you're enough. You're enough to get your needs met. You're enough to get what you want and what you desire. You're just enough. You're just enough. That's the message for today. It's that you're just enough. And from that place of knowing that you're enough, from that place of feeling like you're enough, then it becomes obvious that you can get what you want, what you need, and what you desire because you're good enough. You're good enough to create the reality of your dreams and your desires. You're good enough to make more money. You're good enough to get the things that you want. And in this context, being good enough and being empowered are kind of the same thing, or they're very much connected. Because if I'm not good enough, then I don't have the power to get what I want. I don't have the power to get what I want because I'm not good enough. But when I know that I'm good enough, it's easier for me to believe and accept that I have the power to get what I want. So when you handle that internally, when you handle that little hum of anxiety, when you handle that feeling inside of you that we all have if you were neglected or ignored, when you handle that, you let yourself know that you're enough. And you let yourself know that you do have the power to impact your reality. You get to receive. You get to get what you want, what you desire, and what you need. Then you're in a much better, clearer, more aligned energy with anything and everything that you desire. So understanding that you're good enough is super, super important. And I didn't realize how much I felt like I wasn't good enough until I actually sat and got curious just now. So, super lucky that we get to shift. This video was a powerful shift for me. If you're dealing with this specifically, there are two. All of my courses are amazing. The I Can and I Should course is an empowerment course, but that's not the one that I would start with. I would start with how to receive. if it's a conversation about getting my needs met, getting more money, getting what I need for my well-being and the lifestyle of my desire, all of that is receiving. What you believe that you're worthy of receiving, worthiness. Yes, that's what I would focus on first. And then the I Can and I Should course is really great for self-esteem, empowerment, believing that you can achieve, believing that you can reach your goals. I would consider that more of an empowerment course. Visual Vamp Up closes on October 29th. Those other two courses are going to be open year round. If I had to choose one, I would get into I would get into How to Receive first, but I would also get into Visual Vamp Up. So either get both. But if you can't get both right now, then get Visual Vamp Up, because you can tap into the vibration of being enough. You can practice the vibration of knowing that you're enough. And from that place, everything that I talked about is much easier. Yeah, practicing the vibration of knowing that you're enough. That is something that I'm going to be doing right now. All right, that's all that I got for you. You can check out my miniature courses, my offers in the description box. I love you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking with me throughout this month. If you're coming to this and it's past October, there's an entire playlist of these videos from this month of the challenge that I did. It's up on my YouTube. I highly suggest checking out the rest of those videos. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.